Chair came from my stepfather's family. I came into possession when my mother passed away. She always said to me, don't ever let this go. I, at one time, got offered $75 from an antique dealer for it. I knew what my mother said.
Okay.
A little bit of research I did indicated it might be a Philadelphia shell chair.
You're absolutely right.
And from there, I know there's so many reproductions of a lot of these chairs.
Right. I'll tell you, when I saw this across the room, I thought that's what I really love, and that's Philadelphia Chippendale.
Philadelphia's furniture scene flourished between the 1750s and 1780s, fueled by the city's rapid rise as a major port and mercantile hub. Founded by William Penn in 1682, the city drew a diverse community of immigrant artisans, and by the 1760s, cabinet makers such as Benjamin Randolph and Thomas Affleck were producing refined, high-end pieces for the colonial elite. Typical of Philadelphia craftsmanship, this chair showcases a deeply carved tassel back adorned with stylized rococo motifs. It also retains its carved ears, where the original chisel marks remain visible, a tangible trace of the artisan's hand. The seat was later replaced by the guest's mother. Originally, it would have been padded with horsehair and upholstered in either tooled leather or fine woven fabric. Moving down to the skirt, a central scallop shell emerges between carved knees, a signature detail of Philadelphia design. The cabriole legs culminate in robust claw and ball feet, hallmark traits of chairs produced around 1770. On the reverse, the side rail extends cleanly through the back leg, confirming a construction method distinctive to Philadelphia joinery. Adding to its appeal is the deep mellow patina that has developed over centuries, a natural testament to age, handling, and polish.
Now that's a combination of the fact that people, when they touch this chair, touch it here. And the oil from their hands from over 200 years of touching it has made it this wonderful black color.
Philadelphia chairs like this remain highly sought after by collectors, and in its remarkable state of preservation, this example would be valued at.
This chair is easily worth at auction $8,000 to $12,000, $8,000 to $12,000 easily. So you can average $10,000.
Okay,
so not bad.
Not bad. No, it was better than the $75 offer.
It is a prototype lunar reflector that was designed to be placed on the moon in the Apollo 11 program, which my father was in charge of lunar cartography for NASA, and this was his pet project. They placed a series of these, 10 across, 10 deep, on the moon during the Apollo 11 mission, and then shot lasers at it from various points on Earth to measure the distance.
The Apollo 11 mission in 1969 marked one of humanity's greatest achievements, the first successful landing of humans on the moon. Conducted by NASA, it was the fifth crewed mission in the Apollo program and the first to fulfill President John F. Kennedy's 1961 challenge of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth. In 1962, researchers at MIT, including Louis Smolin and Giorgio Fiocco, achieved a breakthrough by successfully reflecting laser pulses off the moon's natural surface using Q-switched ruby lasers. Years later, in 1969, the lunar reflector model on display was developed to measure the exact Earth-to-moon distance by reflecting laser pulses back to their source with remarkable accuracy. The exterior of this model is wrapped in reflective foil, serving as a thermal blanket to protect against the moon's extreme heat and cold. Inside the housing are corner-cube prisms engineered to return laser beams to their origin point, regardless of the angle of incidence. Although this particular model never made the journey to the moon, it remains an extraordinary relic of the Apollo era. In an auction, given its provenance and historical connection to America's early space exploration, this lunar reflector model would be valued at.
We'd be talking something like, conservatively, in the $5,000 to $7,000 range.
Wow.
But I think some upside potential.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Purchased them at a local antique store. They appear to be maybe sheets from a music book that a choir may have used. Possibly they're on some kind of animal skin.
And we think they have some religious stories to tell. This is, we think it's St. Agnes, and they were trying to burn her and she wouldn't burn. And then this is an icon to Mary.
Right. I'm assuming it's Mary because her face is so worn away.
Right.
And I'm assuming it's from veneration.
Well, that's exactly right. They're pages from what we call a missal. You can see the musical staves here. It was a choir book, and they were large so the entire congregation could see them. And they're probably French, around 16th century, 1550.
Okay.
During the 16th century, France witnessed both the pinnacle of Renaissance artistry and the upheaval of the Reformation. Consequently, missals from this era capture a striking convergence of religious devotion, humanist influence, and the innovative advances of early printing. These pages were extracted from a hand-copied Roman Catholic book containing the complete text for the Mass. The sacred miniatures were executed with meticulous care, using iron gore ink for the script, combined with richly pigmented paints and delicate gold leaf for ornamentation. Gilding was applied with either burnished gold or finely ground shell gold, accentuating initials, borders, and key motifs throughout the pages. Additionally, the borders are decorated with quintessential Renaissance ornamentation, grotesques, curling acanthus leaves, and symbolic flora, demonstrating both artistry and iconographic meaning. Each missal page serves as a testament not only to the spiritual devotion of its original audience, but also to the technical and aesthetic mastery of 16th century French illuminators. In an auction today, considering their artistry, historical relevance, and excellent preservation, these missal pages would be valued at.
I would very easily put these in an auction at $3,000 to $4,000 a piece, and expect them to do probably even a little bit better than that. So you guys did very well.
Yeah, very much so.
Thank you so much. I appreciate knowing.
My mother had a K guitar that was her favorite, she'd owned for many years. And after a show one night, it's my understanding that the guitar did not get loaded into the car correctly. They actually backed over it and destroyed her K guitar.
Oh, no, okay.
And so my father special ordered this guitar as a replacement to her favorite guitar.
What possessed him to order a double neck?
Probably guilt for running over her guitar. And this was probably the most expensive guitar that Gibson made.
I would have thought. Well, you already know it's a very rare model.
Correct.
It's a Gibson model double 12, 6 and 12-string neck guitar, made by the Gibson Guitar Company in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
In the late 1950s, Gibson was riding high on the success of its solid-body Les Paul and semi-hollow ES series, two lines that had already reshaped the sound of modern music. At the same time, musicians were beginning to seek out fuller, more resonant tones. The 12-string format, long celebrated in folk and acoustic traditions, offered a lush, chiming harmonic texture that electric players were eager to explore. This particular Gibson Double 12 electric guitar, dating to around 1960, lives up to its name, with two mahogany necks joined into a single, elegantly contoured body, one a standard 6-string, the other a 12-string. Its double cutaway design provides comfortable upper fret access on both necks, and the high-gloss nitrocellulose lacquer finish gives it the timeless luster Gibson is known for. The rosewood fretboards, inlaid with mother-of-pearl trapezoids, add a touch of refined artistry, complementing the guitar's commanding presence. Over time, a few components, two knobs, a switch, and the tuners have been replaced.
And here's the original tuners here. The knobs deteriorate over the years.
Right.
While such modifications have a modest impact on value, the guitar still retains its original case, a detail collectors deeply appreciate. As one of Gibson's prototype instruments, the Double 12 was produced in extremely limited numbers, making surviving examples like this one exceptionally scarce. Highly sought after by vintage Gibson collectors and rock historians, this rare Double 12 electric guitar would be expected at auction to realize.
It's so scarce that I think if you were a collector that didn't have one, you might pay retail somewhere between $25,000 and $35,000 for it.
Wow.
My husband is an avid collector, and he was able to get this from a collection in Durham, and it shows when he visited St. Mark's AME Zion Church in Durham, and he was the president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, and this is from their conference when they were here in Raleigh.
As the civil rights movement entered a pivotal new chapter in the mid-1960s, two monumental victories, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, had reshaped the nation's legal landscape. Yet for many African Americans, true equality remained out of reach, as racial and economic injustices persisted, particularly across the South, where segregation's legacy still loomed large. Known for its thriving black-owned businesses and strong civic institutions, The city of Durham became a natural setting for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to continue his call for nonviolent resistance and social transformation. This remarkable collection, directly tied to Dr. King's life and work, reflects that enduring struggle for justice. At its heart lies a signed copy of King's final book, Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community? A profound meditation on the future of the movement and the moral direction of the nation. Published in 1967, just a year before his assassination, the book examines both the movement's progress and the rise of Black power, urging the pursuit of economic equality, structural reform, and moral renewal. The copy here still retains its original dust jacket, a detail especially valued by collectors and historians alike. Accompanying the book is a program from the 1966 Southern Christian Leadership Conference in Raleigh. Along with a photograph of Dr. King taken at the same event, tangible reminders of his presence and leadership during one of the movement's most critical moments. As a collection of extraordinary historical and cultural importance, these items would be estimated at auction to be worth.
I would give it a premium value and therefore say that everything together is in the $3,000 to $4,000 range, and that's an auction value.
Wow, my husband is going to be really excited about that.
Terrific.
This belongs to his mother. This Fantecchi Maiolica trefoil bowl showcases the rich tradition of Italian Maiolica ceramics. The interior features conventional Italian Maiolica painting. Explore the hidden beauty of Maiolica earthenware glasses.
Maiolica is a term for earthenware that's been given a tin glaze, a white glaze, which you really can't see anymore because it's all been painted over. The white glaze forms a kind of canvas.
It's hand-painted in a traditional, old-fashioned style. The exterior showcases vibrant Victorian Maiolica-inspired colours, distinct from Italian tradition. The bowl is labelled Made in Italy, with a quality mark by Fantecchi above the pattern number. Maiolica denotes rich coloured glazes like cobalt blue and green, popular in ceramics. This bowl is classified as trefoil, characterised by its three-lobed shape. For its meticulous craftsmanship and timeless elegance, the appraiser valued the item.
And I think if this were placed in an antique shop in the right setting, you could certainly put a price on it of at least $1,500.
What we have here today is a Parian doll. It was made in Germany between 1840 and 1860. The doll originally belonged to the guest's aunt and was then passed down to her mother. The exact maker of this doll is unknown.
We don't know the exact maker of it. It was made by various porcelain factories.
The German doll is an original from head to toe, featuring a porcelain shoulder head with painted eyes. It also has an unusual molded hairstyle and a molded necklace, which is typical of German dolls from that era. Despite its age, there is no damage seen on this item. At auction, this German doll with painted eyes and a molded necklace would be valued at.
And she would have a value of $1,000 to $1,250.
Well, that's exciting. Thank you so much.
The allure of art lies not just in its beauty, but in the rich history and stories it carries. This guest brings a remarkable bronze sculpture, a treasured gift from her father. The artist's signature, Adolf Wolff, and the date 1932 are prominently inscribed on the left side. Adolf Wolff, originally from Belgium, immigrated to the US as a child, becoming a multifaceted artist, poet, and political activist. Adolf Wolff. Wolff trained at the National Academy of Arts in New York and later taught at the Ferrer School in Harlem. Wolff's connections with other prominent artists further enriched his vibrant and unconventional life. This piece features a foundry mark from the Roman Bronze Works in New York City, a leading foundry for art sculptors of that era. The sculpture is a satirical take on Rodin's The Thinker, showcasing Wolff's unique perspective. The Thinker. Given its historical significance and the rarity of Wolff's works on the market, the auction estimate for this piece is
between $4,000 and $6,000.
Wow, not bad. Gee, that's great.
an iconic piece of modern space-age design. This artifact is more than just a rare discovery. Known as the Weltron 2001, it's also called the Space Ball. Created and launched in 1970 by James Pratt Winston, this device features an 8-track player combined with an AM/FM radio. An 8-track tape is a magnetic tape sound restoring medium. Instantly popular, it achieved significant global sales, praised for its futuristic design. What price do we value this item at? unraveling the intricate tapestry of a life story filled with triumphs, heartbreak, and hidden secrets. This memoir of Noah Davis, presented by the guest, captures that essence. Noah Davis. Davis was a Baptist minister and former enslaved person who bought freedom for himself and his family. This memoir, penned by Davis at the age of 54, provides a first-hand account. It offers insight into life as an African American during the era when slavery was widespread.
Rare photos, those items that specifically deal with African Americans and...
Right.
Written with the goal of securing his children's freedom, the book highlights the sacrifices of parenthood. Remarkably preserved since its publication in 1859, the book's condition adds to its historical value. As a powerful narrative of oppression and liberation, this literary work is appraised at a considerable value of
$800 to $1,000 nowadays.
Thank you so much.
A collector of antiques, this guest bought a beautiful piece from a house sale.
I was a collector of antique woodworking tools, went over to find out a woodworking tool, found out their tool wasn't very good, but I saw this clock.
This is a carriage clock produced by the American luxury jewelry and specialty design house, Tiffany & Co. Tiffany & Co., founded in 1837 by Charles Louis Tiffany. The company became widely known for its luxury goods, particularly its sterling silver and diamond jewelry. Charles Louis Tiffany. This carriage dock comes in its original leather protective case, designed for travel, with compartments that allow one to see the time.
Inside, we see that the carriage clock is in there, and it was designed to travel. If you wanted to be able to see the time, you could travel with it like this, or completely enclosed, or you could take it out altogether.
The case has a unique feature, a button that, when pressed, activates a button on the clock to repeat the specific hour. This carriage clock is a typical example, bearing a time and strike movement. The design is exquisite, featuring a sunken dial with filigree work and a garland engraving on the dial mat, with the hallmark of Tiffany & Co. prominently displayed above the dial. Although the clock was originally made in France, Tiffany & Co. often imported these pieces and branded them as their own. The monogram at the top of the clock is that of its original maker, and its date of manufacture in 1892. Presented in rather difficult condition, after polishing and professional restoration, its value can be estimated at.
In a retail clock shop, this clock would sell for about $4,000.
Well, that's nice.
The guest inherited this astute piece of furniture from an acquaintance after her passing.
So when she died, well, her daughter gave me this piece.
Oh, that's so nice. So it's like a memento, something that you really like.
Yes.
As you can see, this piece is separate from the bench. I think you've just sort of put it on the bench.
Acclaimed to have originated from France, this cabinet is a 17th century style collector's cabinet. Featuring numerous little drawers, it was designed for the purpose of collecting different materials, and the drawers were often painted. The presented cabinet has most of its drawers adorned with paintings of different sorts of hunting dogs. Upon removing a drawer, it is noted that the front is actually glued to the rest of it, depicting a technique used in the late 19th to early 20th centuries. The drawers are primarily made from walnut and chipped at the edges to create a design that makes the piece look older than it actually is. The little pulls on the drawers are also very typical of 17th century style and furniture design.
And they painted all these wonderful dog scenes on it. If this were just a plain walnut cabinet based on an earlier form, you'd probably be looking at maybe $200.
The paintings on the cabinet add significantly to its value, which is estimated to be worth.
Could sell for easily $2,000 at auction in terms of value, and possibly even more.
After a strange trip to Iowa, this guest's grandfather returned home with these pieces.
My grandfather sort of disappeared one weekend, and he went to Ottawa and he came home with these. And we really never knew too much about it. We didn't know what he paid for them or anything like that.
This is actually a collection of Toby jugs, which are pottery jugs in the form of a seated person, or the head of a recognizable figure. The original Toby jug was developed and popularized by Staffordshire potters in the 1760s and was thought to be a development of the Dutch Delft jugs. Dutch Delft jugs. They were usually satirical or comical depictions of famous literary, political, and social characters. This collection specifically depicts military leaders of the Allied forces of World War I, each displaying characteristics of their country, and military forces. A notable example is the depiction of the French general and Marshal of France, Ferdinand Foch. Underneath the pieces is the hallmark of the mayor, the Wilkinson Company, one of the Staffordshire companies, the Wilkinson Company. This collection was manufactured and designed brilliantly, with great attention to detail and hand-painted features, adding to their value. Presented as a collection, this set of Toby jugs will sell for an estimated
somewhere between $4,000 and $6,000, which is really a nice amount.
Wish my grandfather was here to know how well he done.
Yeah.
The guest recounted purchasing a piece at an auction in Tonganoxie 4 or 5 years ago. The piece was identified as a remarkable example of American folk art. The appraiser described it as a bird tree, a type of carving typically found in Pennsylvania. German traditions. Despite its traditional roots, the piece had universal appeal and could have been made locally. The item exhibited detailed and skillful carving. The bird positions, like a mother robin feeding her young and another with its head turned, were beautifully executed. The carver was praised as a master, with the piece likely dating to the late 19th or early 20th century.
It has a little bit of an Adirondack feel with the way that these pieces are put together.
The appraiser noted that the birds were carved from pine and painted. Given the beauty and appeal of the piece, the value suggested was
conservatively, an auction estimate would be in the range of $6,000 to $8,000.
The beauty of woven art lies in the stories they tell through patterns and colors. A guest brings in 2 Qashqai bag faces, treasures from southern Persia. Acquired at different times, these pieces were chosen for their aesthetic appeal and fit for a room with knotty pine paneling. Originating from the Fars district, these bags date back to the turn of the century and were crafted for practical use by nomadic weavers. Fars district, Iran. Featuring kilim backings and loops for fastening, they stored everyday items for the weavers.
When this item was originally woven, it would have a kilim or flat woven backing on it, therefore making these a closed bag. And up at the top,
The designs include crude interpretations of goats and stylized flowers, reflecting the weaver's surroundings. Today, these bag faces are often repurposed into decorative pillows, cherished for their vibrant history and artistry. In the auction market, for the pair, these Qashqai bag faces are valued at
$1,500 and $2,000 for the 2 of them.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
It's all right. Thank you.
The allure of folk art lies in its simplicity and rich cultural heritage. A guest has curated a unique collection of ice fishing decoys, each piece showcasing a distinct tradition. His wife gifted him the large decoy from an auction, while the smaller ones came in from his mother and a tag sale. Historically, fishermen used these decoys to lure big fish like pike and muskie during the cold winter months. Collectors prize these decoys for their intricate designs and original paint.
And they have nice original paint with the dots and the green, and generally to collectors, the ones that bring them more money are ones that are curved or that have really nice paint.
With its powerful presence and excellent condition, the large decoy stands out. Equally charming, the smaller decoys, resembling trout or perch, boast vibrant colors and detailed craftsmanship. Given their condition and artistry, the smaller decoys are valued at
This one probably worth around $250 to $300. This one about the same.
the larger one that stands out could fetch up to.
And this would be worth upwards of about $2,000. Wow.
Maps tell stories of exploration, migration, and the vast unknowns of the past. A guest discovered this fascinating 19th century wall map at a local library auction issued by the Colton firm in 1853. This map captures a period of great immigration and westward expansion in America. Maps like these were essential for settlers and were often hung in public places to guide pioneers.
And the reason for that is, one thing is they were the most up-to-date. They had to be up-to-date because they were used by the people moving out west.
The map shows routes like the Oregon Trail and provides vital statistics for new settlers, such as population and land under cultivation. Despite being over 150 years old, the map remains in excellent condition, with its linen backing and protective varnish intact.
And then they were varnished with varnish to protect them and attached to rollers like this so they could be hung, and they were hung in land offices and law offices, in county seats and places like that, so the public could come in or people worked in the office could look.
The rarity and historical significance of this map make it a valuable piece of 19th century cartography. With only a few of these maps surviving in such good condition, this one is estimated to be worth.
I would say a map like this would sell for between $1,200 and $1,500.
That's not.
This painting was purchased by the guest's great-grandmother, who loved bluebonnets.
This painting was purchased by my great-grandmother. We think about the 1940s, we're not really sure, but she didn't know a thing about art.
Bluebonnets paintings of wildflowers like these are quite numerous because, in the 1920s, there was a Texas wildflower art competition that birthed many similar pieces. Although there were many artists known for painting bluebonnets, the artist behind this particular painting stands out, Porfirio Salinas. Porfirio Salinas. Salinas was an early Texas landscape painter, recognized for his depictions of the Texas Hill Country in springtime. He was described by the New York Times as being President Lyndon B. Johnson's favorite painter. President Lyndon B. Johnson. This piece is typical of Salinas' work, as he consistently painted similar depictions of wildflowers, for which he was widely known. Bearing no date on the piece, the artist finds it very difficult to date, but the appraiser approximates it would be from the mid-20th century. Presented in its original frame, this oil painting would sell at an auction for.
You would probably want to think about a figure of perhaps 18,000.
Wow! Ah, that is so exciting!
This is an original lithograph purchased by the guest's father in Dallas, 1946.
Originally, my dad bought it in 1946 in Dallas.
Well, the lithograph depicts the wreck of Old 97, created by Thomas Hart Benton. Thomas Hart Benton. Benton was an American painter, muralist, and printmaker who played a significant role in the religionist art movement. His works transition from modernist styles like synchronization to depicting scenes strongly associated with the native Midwestern United States. This work bears the artist's signature, along with the original label of the painting, which adds immensely to its value. Executed in 1944, this lithograph was produced in an edition of 250, a typical edition size used by the artist for his works, based on the events of September 27, 1903, when the Southern Railway mail train en route to Spencer, North Carolina from Monroe, Virginia, wreck of the Old 97, derailed due to an excessive speed in an attempt to maintain schedule. The lithograph captures a poignant moment in history. The piece shows signs of matte burn along the edges and some toning, which could be easily restored by a professional print restorer. Following complete restoration, this print should sell for an estimated.
Probably say more like $20,000 to $30,000. That's all nice.
This guest inherited this painting from her parents, who purchased it for $1,800.
I brought a painting that I inherited from my mother and father. It's a David Burliuk. They purchased it back in 1961.
Do you know how much they bought it for?
They paid $1,800 for it.
Did they buy it in New York?
This is an oil painting of a Florida scene, executed on canvas by Russian poet and artist David Burliuk. David Burliuk. Burliuk was associated with the futurist and neo-primitive movements and is widely regarded as the father of Russian futurism. He was an artist known not just in Russia, but also in America, where he spent a formative part of his career connecting with abstract expressionist artists. This painting exhibits his love of Impressionism and the influence of Van Gogh on his works, on which he would sometimes sign with Van Gogh's name. Van Gogh. Executed in 1946, the painting showcases Burliuk's use of the impasto technique, giving it an almost sculptural quality. Presented in a rather dirty condition, the painting requires cleaning and some restoration to bring out its vibrant colors. If brought to auction in Florida, which is very desirable for Burliuk's work, the painting could sell for.
You should probably insure it around the $75,000 to $80,000 range.
Okay, thank you. That's amazing.
The guest shared an intriguing story of acquiring a bronze piece. The item had belonged to his grandmother, who bought a house in Manhattan Heights around 1945. The house came with all the artwork and furnishings included. The appraiser identified the artwork as a creation by French artist Charles Raphael Péry. Péry was well regarded in his time, participating in Paris salons, entering competitions, and winning prizes. The piece depicted the three Graces, daughters of Zeus in mythology. The artwork features a verdigris patina and was signed by the artist on the front. It also bore the mark, Paris, France, along with a foundry mark, indicating the use of the lost wax method. Given the lively and intricate details, the auction value was estimated to be.
You'd want to look at a figure in the $9,000 range. You know, a nice work by a well-regarded French sculptor, and great to see.
Wow, that's great.
Set against the backdrops of Kashmiri traditions, this etching by Abdur Rahman Chugtai not only depicts a woodcutter, but also reflects the rich cultural heritage of the region, Kashmir region. Abdur Rahman Chugtai was a painter, artist, and intellectual from Pakistan.
He lived in Pakistan when it was still a British colonial area, and he saw over the course of its lifetime it change in politics and religion.
Our guest today purchased this piece at a bookstore in a mall around 1968 to 1969.
And went back. We were teaching at the Lahore American School, and so we didn't have a lot of money, but I decided I was going to buy it anyway. And
the etching, created sometime between the 1950s and 1970s, bears the maker's signature in the lower left corner. It is a dry point etching, featuring densely packed lines reminiscent of the Art Nouveau style. The scene portrays a Kashmiri woodcutter, presented by a male figure, hunched over with a bunch of sticks on his back. In the background, two additional figures are seen retreating into the picturesque vines of the landscape. The piece exemplifies the rich cultural heritage of the Kashmir region and is estimated to be worth,
Right now, between probably $7,000 and $10,000.
Really? Oh my goodness, that's fun.
The guest displayed a stone mosaic that had belonged to her husband's grandmother. The piece had been in the family for a long time. The guest admitted she didn't know much about it and was curious to learn about its age and origin. The item was identified as pietra dura, an intricate art form known best in Italy with a tradition dating back to antiquity. This particular piece was probably from the 1870s or 1880s. The mosaic depicted a cheerful man with a bottle of Chianti and a couple of extra bottles. The appraiser highlighted the exceptional craftsmanship, particularly in the man's face. The depth and color in his cheeks are achieved by carefully selecting the right pieces of stone. Given the high quality, the piece's auction value was estimated to be,
I think it would be very fair to estimate it at auction at about $5,000 to $7,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
a thrift store find reveals a genuine 1920s Van Briggle iris vase with a fascinating history. A guest visited a thrift store and picked up an intriguing vase. When they got home and looked it up, they found out it was a Van Briggle piece from 1902. The guest brought the vase to an appraiser, who confirmed that it was indeed a Van Briggle, but clarified that it was likely made a bit later, around 1903.
It was designed just around 1902, perhaps as late as 1903, and it was made for many decades after that.
This design, known as the iris vase, was produced for many decades afterwards, especially in the 1920s and 1930s. The appraiser identified the vase by its weight and the Persian rose glaze, noting that the mold used for this piece had softened over time. The softening indicated that it was an older piece, since new molds were often created from old ones, leading to softer impressions. The appraiser then pointed out the dirty bottom of the vase, which is a feature typically seen in pieces from the 1920s and 1930s. They explained that the dirty bottom referred to some glaze that had settled at the bottom of the vase. Additionally, the number 20 marked on the bottom likely indicated the year 1920. The appraiser noted a small chip inside the vase, which had become dirty over time, suggesting that it had been there for quite a while. While giving a value to the item, the appraiser said,
In this condition, I would think $150 to $250 at auction is a fair price.
In the late 1970s, this guest embarked on an anthropological excursion to Irian Jaya and acquired a fascinating collection of items. Included in this collection is a photograph of tribesmen from the Irian Jaya region, whom the guest encountered during their journey. We also have two pieces of traditional attire, worn by the tribespeople as necklaces. Another item is a black ritualistic knife, historically used by the tribesmen for amputation.
When a woman loses a husband, a mother, a father, or a child, they mourn them by amputating.
Additionally, there are two penis sheaths, or kateka, traditionally worn over the penis by the men of the tribe for their protection. Interestingly, the government of the Irian Jaya attempted to abolish the use of penis sheaths in the 1970s, but these efforts were ultimately unsuccessful.
It was unsuccessful. They tried to get the natives into shorts, and it didn't work.
This collection of items is in relatively good condition, which could significantly enhance their value considering their current condition and historical significance to Irian Jaya. These items are estimated to be worth.
We're in the $2,500 to $3,500 range for the entire collection.
Very nice.
This fish bottle is an absolutely stunning glass masterpiece. This ceramic piece was crafted by expert potter John Bartlam. The ceramic is glazed to appear green, and it is quite appealing to see.
It's a Moravian pottery piece made by the Moravian potters of Old Salem, North Carolina.
A fish bottle like this was used in earlier times to store different products.
John Bartlam founded the first English-type pottery in the United States.
This one was crafted in 1810. What's most ravishing is that the bottle is still in great condition. The bottle represents an early ceramic piece and is innovative because of its fish shape.
Possibly the finest piece of American pottery I've ever seen on the Roadshow.
At a suitable auction, this beautiful glazed ceramic fish bottle would sell for
$27,000 to $30,000.
Oh my gosh. Oh, gee.
The combination of this map and photo would be a dream come true for many collectors. This is because the map provides insight into a military general's mind, specifically that of General Robert Edward Lee. General Lee was active during the Civil War, and this map shows an area he was studying.
He's one of the only men to graduate West Point Military Academy without a demerit. He was also offered leadership of both the Union and the Confederate forces during the Civil War.
It was also pertinent to note that General Lee entrusted this map to another celebrated soldier, Richard Ewell. We also have a signed photo of General Lee, which is a prized item to own.
General Ewell was very important to Robert E. Lee. Robert E. Lee was a man that had a small circle of generals that he trusted with his life, and Ewell was one of those generals.
The signed photo and map represent a piece of patriotism to the American people. As a matter of fact, General Lee's photo is highly sought after by collectors. At a reasonable auction, this significantly patriotic combination would sell for.
In a retail situation, would easily bring $50,000 to $75,000.
My gosh.
Our guest today purchased this vase at a garage sale many years ago, on her way back from a dog show. This particular piece of pottery was made at Newcomb College in New Orleans, Louisiana, around 1930.
Well, you have a beautiful piece of Newcomb College pottery. Newcomb College pottery was part of Tulane University in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Newcomb College. Pieces from Newcomb were hand-thrown by male potters and then decorated by the women at the school. The decoration on this vase is typical of a bayou scene in Louisiana. It features a depiction of live oak trees and Spanish moss in a waxy matte blue gaze. Underneath the vase is the mark NC, which stands for Newcomb College, and another mark, SI, for Sadie Irvin. Sadie Irvin was an American artist and educator who studied and taught at Newcomb College until she retired in 1952.
You have an SI for Sadie Irvine, and she was one of their most prolific artists.
The vase is in perfect condition and still retains its allure. In this condition, a piece made at Newcomb College and associated with Sadie Irvin could sell for.
And a conservative auction estimate would be $3,000 to $4,000.
Oh my gosh. Oh, good Lord. Probably drop it on the way home.
Penobscot tribe native to the northeastern United States created stunning objects using materials from their environment. Seal of Penobscot Indian Nation. A guest exhibited a carved root club, a striking example of the Penobscot tribe's craftsmanship. This club, made in the mid-19th century, was likely crafted from a hardwood tree, such as maple or birch. The handle of the club features intricate carvings. At one end of the club, there are carvings that resemble animals. These carvings reflect the tribe's deep connection to nature and their belief system. Clubs like this were traditionally made as weapons for combat. This piece stands as a powerful symbol of the tribe's heritage and is estimated to be worth.
I think this one would definitely reach the sort of 2,000 to 2,500. That's great. Okay. It's a fabulous object. Yeah.
This might look like an everyday clock, but it's actually a compact device used to control and reduce the pressure of gases or liquids. These regulators ensure consistent output pressure. It's made from materials like stainless steel and brass. Despite its small size, it's robust and reliable. It was created in the Biedermeier period between 1815 and 1848.
It's Biedermeier. Well, that's the style.
Regulators like this are essential for precise control in portable systems. We can only wonder what the worth of this unique piece would be. The allure of Art Deco furniture is found in its sleek lines and innovative design, encapsulating an era of elegance and forward thinking.
This is a classic design. If you like Art Deco, I could certainly understand why you'd be attracted to this.
Quite discerning, this guest discovered this remarkable suite of Art Deco furniture amidst the treasures of a crowded antique shop in Dallas. Acquired in the early 1990s, this collection beautifully embodies the distinctive style and sophistication of the 1920s and 30s. The club chairs, with their streamlined arms reminiscent of a locomotive, convey a design sense of motion and modernity. Particularly striking is the unusual combination of green vinyl and white leather, showcasing a bold and artistic design choice.
And this is even more unusual because it's a combination of green vinyl and white leather.
These materials suggest a construction date around 1940, blending both durability and distinctive style. Though lighter than their predecessors from the 20s and 30s, this suite retains its classic Art Deco charm and craftsmanship. In a refined retail setting, this matching three-piece set is estimated to be valued at.
You would probably see this whole suit priced at $3,000 to $5,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Every piece of furniture carries the whispers of its past, and this one speaks volumes. This guest shares the intriguing story of acquiring the furniture from a house on Grosse Ile Island. Grosse Ile Island, once owned by Mickey Cochrane, the legendary Detroit Tigers catcher. Mickey Cochrane. This chair, part of a suite custom-made for the house, was created by the renowned Thomas Molesworth, a master of Western-influenced furniture. Thomas Molesworth. Molesworth's work is celebrated for its cowboy and Native American motifs.
And this is like a perfect example of the type of work that he did. It's really kind of like an icon chair for him.
Picture this Adirondack-style chair in a mountain lodge, embodying the rugged charm that Hollywood stars once sought. The chair's original leather seat and distinctive cowboy relief highlight Molesworth's artistry and dedication to his craft. In excellent condition, this iconic piece alone is valued at
$1,500 to $2,000.
However, if it was the entire suite, a testament to its historical and aesthetic significance, the value soars to an impressive.
It's probably worth somewhere in the $8,000 to $10,000 range.
Oh my goodness!